Hello guys, today we're going to be doing a video on God of War using the Steam Deck. We're going to be playing the game at native resolution of 800p, and we're going to be starting it off with the low preset. As always, if you like what you see, sub to the channel will be highly appreciated as well. Alright, let's jump into it. We had a pretty rocky start. The game was lagging pretty heavily, stuttering heaps, freezing up, but seems to have gotten better. This game is verified on the Steam page, so it should run quite well, I would imagine. Getting 40 FPS so far at 800p low. GPU is almost maxed out, not fully though. Okay, it's fully maxed out, I lied. Game's running much better though. We are getting a pretty smooth frame rate, consistent frame time. Okay, it just froze up as soon as I say that. But, whoa, it's lagging so bad. Alright, it seems like once we load into new areas and see new objects, it starts to lag a bit. And then it will eventually, just like that. But after a while, it will smooth out and it will play properly. Now, I remember seeing a bunch of videos on this game on the Steam Deck, and people said that the game ran really well. So it's kind of surprising how much it's lagging. This could always be the same case as Red Dead Redemption 2, where since we're running an uncapped FPS, we are running into some stutters and lag spikes in those heavier scenes. So I guess we'll see once I cap the FPS to 30 or 40 to see if it's actually gonna keep happening or not. And this is a PS4 game, and it does have a preset that is the PS4 preset. So it's kind of exciting to see how the Steam Deck will actually handle that, even though we're running at a lower resolution, I would imagine. Alright, playing with the original preset now. This is how it comes with the PS4. These are the same graphical settings that they used for the PS4 version. And we're looking for at least 30 FPS, because that's what it runs at on the PS4. The problem with the medium preset is that we are losing our headroom, whereas we can probably hold a steady 40, minus the stutters and the lag spikes. With medium settings, we're gonna have a good chance of falling into the mid to high 30s consistently. Obviously, we can actually just use FSR to counteract that and still be able to play on medium settings or the original settings, but I guess that's all personal preference. I should add that there was a new update out for the Steam Deck. We are on the stable build and they released a new update. There was a lot of good fixes in there and updates, but there's still a bug where the control doesn't get detected in the game, so you gotta either press the Steam button or the quick access menu button a couple of times for it to reset. Well, it's lagging heavily here. But yeah, once you do that, it comes back and the controller works again. So just something to keep in mind, I haven't fixed that yet. Our FPS is actually hanging in the low 30s now, so we are getting pretty close to our limit. We do get some dips into the high 20s occasionally as well. So at this point, I would probably want to use FSR. Alright, using FSR set to balance. I skipped quality just because I want to give it the biggest amount of GPU headroom since it's fully maxed out. And GPU clocks are pretty much almost maxed out. Running at 1.5 GHz and 1.6 GHz is our actual max. So here we're getting 50 FPS, so it's quite good. Now the game does look slightly blurry. It's nothing major. Doesn't ruin the experience, I think. But you can definitely tell that you're running FSR at this point. I tried quality out and quality looks really good. You basically can't tell that it's running FSR. So I think quality is the way to go if you want to have the best image quality, as you would expect. Game is freezing up quite heavily there when I was doing that attack. The game does run quite well for the most part. We do get some really bad frame drops and freezes, like here and there, and that kind of ruins the experience. But other than that, our frame rates are way above 30, so it's definitely playable. Alright, let's go ahead and push our settings up to high. We are right now above the PS4 preset. This will be quite, yeah. Okay, 30 FPS. We're getting, pretty bad freeze right there. We are right below 30, sitting in the 28, 29 FPS range. Must be the lighting here. The lighting is probably making our FPS really bad. Now, one thing that I just realized is that our VRAM is pretty much maxed out. We have 6 GB available to us, I believe, and basically at 5. And our system memory and the VRAM are basically the same thing. They're being shared, and we only have 16 GB available to us in total. So that could be an issue as well. Playing at the Ultra preset, I did test out FSR unbalanced for high settings, and that gave us like 3-4 FPS, but it still had those massive FPS dips into the mid to low 20s. Playing at ultra settings though, we're getting 20 FPS. It's pretty unplayable at this point. we've definitely pushed it way too far. I think medium settings is pretty much our limit. If you want to get a 30 FPS experience, then you can do a mix of medium and high. Maybe use some FSR as well in there. But a guaranteed 30/40 FPS experience would be a mix of low and medium. And by medium, I mean original. But yeah, talking about the Ultras preset, we are using FSR now, unbalanced. And as you can see, it's not really helping us much. We gained 2-3 FPS in those heavier scenes and then push up to 25-27 FPS on those easier scenes. Alright, let's go ahead and try out Ultra Performance FSR. Alright, using Ultra Performance FSR, the game is super blurry at this point. You can tell that the resolution is very, very low. It's trying its best, but it's way too obvious. I don't think it looks very good either. GPU is fully maxed out and we're still getting 20 FPS. So, it's pretty pointless to be honest with playing at the settings.
Oh no! Why are they killing you? You didn't do anything.
Alright, I dropped the settings down to low, enabled FSR set it to quality, and the game looks fantastic. It looks really good, and it's running quite well as well. We're getting 50 FPS almost. Obviously it's going to fall down even more in those heavier scenes, but we are holding 40 quite easily. Now this is a game that I would definitely use FSR in. I will stick to quality. You can get away with using balance as well, but now we're trying to get as much headroom as possible with FSR, just in case of those heavier scenes. We want to have some headroom. Do not fall either below 40 or 30, depending on what FPS cap you're going with. I went ahead and capped the FPS to 30. Now this area has ran really well. After we dropped it from the Ultra preset to low preset with FSR, it has ran really well. Couldn't really feel any lag spikes or stutters. Now obviously you could actually get away with playing this at 40 as well. You might fall below 40 occasionally, but for the most part you should be able to hold a steady 40. But your GPU will probably be maxed out and your power draw will be up as well. Alright, so for the video guys, hope you enjoyed it, found it useful. If you did, give it a like, and it's up the channel, we highly appreciate it as well. See you next time.